You know how sometimes you see two things that seem to happen at the exact same time, and you just assume one must be causing the other? Well, today we're going to unravel one of the biggest traps in data and figure out why that assumption can be so wrong.
Okay, let's kick things off with a classic summer puzzle. When people start buying more ice cream, sales for sunglasses also shoot up. They seem to move together perfectly. So it makes you wonder, right? Does eating a scoop of ice cream somehow make you want to go buy a new pair of shades?
And hey, when you look at the data, it seems to scream yes. You plot the sales, and the pattern is just undeniable. As one goes up, the other goes up right along with it. This is a textbook example of what we call a strong, positive correlation. They really do look like they're linked. But hold on a second. This is where it gets tricky. Our brains are literally wired to find patterns, and it's so tempting to look at a chart like that and just jump to a conclusion. This right here, this is the correlation trap, and pretty much everyone falls for it at some point. So this is where we have to be really clear about our words. See, correlation just means two things are moving in the same rhythm, kind of like two cars driving side by side on the highway. But causation, whoa, that's a much bigger deal. That means one thing is the actual engine making the other thing happen.
And this is it, the classic mistake you see everywhere, from splashy news headlines to big business meetings. Our brains are basically story-making machines. We see two things happen, and we can't help but write a little story in our heads. This caused that. But as we're about to see, the real story is usually hiding just out of sight.
So if one isn't causing the other, what's really going on? It's time to put on our detective hats. The answer isn't about the relationship between ice cream and sunglasses at all. It's about finding the secret force that's pulling all the strings behind the scenes. You'll find this a lot, actually. The truth isn't that A causes B. The real story is that some hidden factor, let's call it variable C, is secretly pushing both A and B at the same time. And there it is! The hidden driver is the sun. It's the hot weather. It's so simple, right? When the temperature goes up, of course more people buy ice cream to cool down, and more people buy sunglasses because it's bright outside. The weather is the true cause, making both sales figures rise all on its own. Now, this kind of hidden driver actually has a technical name. It's called a confounding variable. Just think of it like a third person who jumps into a conversation between two people and suddenly makes it seem like they're connected, when really they're both just reacting to this new person. Okay, so the ice cream example is fun and all, but this same mistake in the real world, it can cost companies millions. Let's look at a business situation where spotting this hidden driver is absolutely crucial. All right, imagine you're a data analyst for a huge retail company. You're looking at the numbers and you spot something interesting. The stores that run the most discounts and promotions are also the ones bringing in the most money. The correlation looks super strong. Now, the knee-jerk reaction would be to run to your boss and say, "Promotions are a goldmine, let's roll them out everywhere." But now you know better. You've got to stop and ask that critical question. Are the discounts actually causing the sales boost, or is there another hidden driver we're not seeing? And of course, when you dig a little deeper, you find it. The confounding variable isn't the promotion, it's the location. The company runs its biggest sales events in its flagship stores. You know, the ones in super busy downtown areas that already have a ton of people walking by. The location is the real reason for the high sales, not the promotions themselves. So after all that, what's the one thing you really, truly need to remember? Let's boil it down to the single most important takeaway for anyone looking at data. It's a simple rule, but it is so powerful. Whenever you see a correlation, your first instinct shouldn't be to draw a line from A to B. It should be to stop, take a breath, and ask, okay, but what could C be? Always hunt for that confounding variable before you even think about declaring cause and effect. You can think of it like this. Correlation is the clue. It's the map that tells you where you should start digging. But causation, that's the buried treasure you find that explains everything. And real powerful insight comes from knowing the difference between the map and the treasure. That's what makes a great analyst. So this leaves us with a huge question, doesn't it? If we can't trust correlation to prove anything, how can we ever be sure that one thing truly causes another? Well, finding that proof, that takes a completely different set of tools, and it's the next critical step on the journey to really mastering data.